Hey, party people. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the stream. Trying out some new things. You can see my new chat widget over here next to me. Let's fill it up. So I am currently broadcasting to Twitch, YouTube, Periscope as well, and Mixer, but no one gives a crap about Mixer. Actually, I'm having some Mixer issues. Mixer just doesn't work, so I don't know if it's is it a Kevin problem or is it a Mixer problem? I'm actually leaning towards it being a Mixer problem, but you never know, right? So how's everyone doing today? Today is Tuesday, May 26th, 2020. Sean, glad you can make it. I know you've been stream jumping all day, so I'm glad you jumped over to my stream for a couple minutes. Let's see. I am still in the process of doing all the social media stuff that should be automated, but it's not. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up. So HTTP. Actually, I'm supposed to be live on Periscope too, right? So Periscope. I don't think people give Periscope enough credit because I was looking at total views on Periscope compared to Twitch and YouTube, and turns out there are way more views on Periscope than there were on the other platforms combined. I think a lot of them are like come and go, like someone drops in for a couple minutes and then they leave, but total overall views on Periscope have been way more than the other platforms, which is kind of amazing. Sean, you're rebuilding a Azure VPN gateway. It does take a while. I have done that. I know that pain. Oh man, I don't envy you at all. That sounds like a ton of fun. Let's see. All right. All right. I think everything is good to go. Let's hit the tweet button and send out some tweets. So, all right, I think everything's good. Reshelving. Yay, I'm getting some retweets. So, actually, I wasn't planning on going live today because we are having a family get together over at my in-laws' house, and staying in the family. It's not like it's a huge party. But tomorrow is my wife's birthday, and her sister are twins, so they share a birthday. So we always go over to my in-laws' house. We have a family get-together. We celebrate both birthdays at the same time. It's just kind of something we've always done, and we keep that tradition going even now. So we were supposed to go over there at 3:30 here on the East Coast of the U.S., and turns out that dinner got pushed back a couple hours. Oh well. That means, Kevin has time to go stream. And I'm probably going to stream for an hour or two tomorrow as well. I'm not quite sure, but because tomorrow is my wife's birthday, so I'm going to try to, what's the word? Spend a little bit more time in the house. Maybe take the day off. I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to fault me for not streaming on my wife's birthday. But we'll see. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on stream today. So let me finish telling everyone where I'm streaming at. If you've watched the stream for any period of time, there are some projects that I have where I've just been working on forever. And one of them has been this Vue.js app I've been working on, where I've done bits and pieces of it. I make a little bit of progress, and then I don't touch it again for a month. And that's kind of how it goes. Make a little bit of progress, don't touch it again for a month. And so today is our one time a month where we need to go ahead and, oh my gosh, I hate Slack. I dropped a link in one of my Slacks saying, hey, people come hang out with me. You know what it does is it makes like the link previews for 3 different links and takes up half the page. So I have to be nice and take all that stuff out. All right. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. You know what? I'm forgetting Reddit. All the good people over on Reddit don't know that I'm currently live, but that's okay. We can fix that real fast. Anyone out there active in the Watch People Code subreddit? I love this subreddit. Let me go to my display. This is a great subreddit. So Watch People Code. You come in here. We'll go ahead and paste what we're doing. Because I can only really send people to one place, I send them to Twitch. I think Twitch has the best community for this sort of live coding and just chatting overall. And I think all the people out there on Twitch would agree with me. Right, Twitch friends? All right, so send them over to my Twitch channel, and yeah, that's all good to go. So I have this app. Let me do an npm run serve. Jeez, it's because I'm not in the source. Geez, I screwed this up. It's all right. I'll fix it. pf calc, and then do npm install. I have to do the install because I haven't actually ran this project on this new build on my machine. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and do the npm install. So I can show it to you and we can talk through what I actually need to do left. I think that this is a good candidate for the new Azure static sites that we talked about last week here on the stream. But for most of my static sites, I tend to use Azure Blob Storage. Or folks out there that are familiar with AWS use S3. So you just put a whole bunch of files into a storage container, and you can use that storage container to be open to the internet, and people get the files directly out of your container. It's great because it saves you a whole bunch of computing power. You just don't pay for compute, you pay for storage, and you pay for egress, and basically the data leaving one of the data centers. Super cheap, especially if you only have a static site. But Azure introduced these new static sites app services that do the same thing. They're currently free. There's no egress cost. There's no storage cost. And most of all, there's no computing cost. But it puts a little bit more of a facade around the static site idea. And you can also couple it with Azure Functions, which I think is amazing, is getting the best parts of a static site, but then using functions for those little things that you just can't push. You just can't push to the client. A great example is what I talked about on stream yesterday. So yesterday, I know I streamed on Memorial Day, so not a lot of people got to see this, but I added reCAPTCHA to one of my sites. It's a static site running on blob storage right now, but I need to add reCAPTCHA to it. Well, in order for reCAPTCHA to be effective, you need a server component. You need the part that a person can't just easily access. And so on this client, you do something, you get a token from reCAPTCHA that verifies that the current instance of the browser is legitimate. It's not a bot. And you send that token to your server. Your server goes to reCAPTCHA and says, all right, this is the token I have. Is this a valid token? reCAPTCHA will say yes or no. And if you say yes, you do what you need to do. In my case, I'm adding people to an email list. But I wasn't running a backend. I was running just a static site. So I created an Azure function, which was pretty straightforward, that took care of the server-side aspect of this whole equation. And I'm just kind of amazed it worked. It's one of those things where, all right, I have an idea. I think this is theoretically how it's supposed to go together. Play around for a couple of minutes, and boom, everything works great. So highly recommend checking out this post. I'll drop it in chat for anyone interested, because I did this in 3 hours yesterday on the streams. So here's the opt-in. And the problem I was running into was this works great. This is just a form that goes to my Active Campaign, which I use for email marketing, and that works great. The problem is I have been getting hit with bots, and these bots have been submitting names and email addresses on a regular basis, like every 5, 10, 15 minutes to they were legitimate emails. So legitimate people were getting double opt-ins emails from me saying, hey, someone, maybe you, maybe not you, is subscribed to my list, and I just want to make sure that that's okay with you. And I give a whole list of reasons why someone should be on the list. And there's a button to confirm if that's what they want to do. Well, one of 3 things was happening. Number 1, I was getting people would just ignore it. That's what most people would do. Because I even say in the email, if you did not request this email, delete, ignore. It's just you don't need to be on the list. And I fully understand. Number 2, I would actually have some people click the confirm link. They're like, oh, okay, click. It's like, why are you doing that? You didn't request this email, and you're now on my list, and you confirmed you wanted to be on your list. So I did everything I'm check supposed to do. Okay. Well, then number 3, it's the worst one, is that people were submitting it for spam complaints. So my email was more likely to go into spam because they were going through this process, and there's nothing I could control. I can't control who gets the double opt-in. If someone puts in their Worst Enemy's email address, their Worst Enemy is going to get the double opt-in email. So I don't know. So what I did was I added reCAPTCHA to it. You can kind of see reCAPTCHA down here at the bottom. They add their little watermark, and it's an invisible reCAPTCHA, which I think is the best, because I don't like the reCAPTCHAs where you have to select all the traffic lights, or all the cars, or all the buses, all the bridges, all the dogs, all the cats from a series of images. That's just too much effort, because sometimes what you'll do is you'll select them, you'll hit OK, and it'll say, well, okay, well, now select all the bridges. And you go, well, was I wrong? I'm pretty sure I got them all last time. And then you have you ever seen the meme where it's like 3 pixels is in one image, but everything else is in another image? And you're like, well, do I select both images, or do I just get the one? It's so hard to tell. Invisible reCAPTCHA takes most of that guesswork out of it. Don't learn code. And Dylan, hey guys, how you all doing? Dylan says, create some ally issues. Yes. Yeah, I can see that too. And I honestly have not done enough work. I have so many things I need to do with my current site. And one of them is I need to spend a little bit of time making sure certain things are accessible. I already know there are different parts that are not accessible off the top of my head. And I need to create a to-do list. And that might be a stream. That might be a good stream for next week, is to sit down and just work through some of the accessibility issues that I see. So I got all that figured out. So now you can sign up for the page, and the only little drawback there is a slight delay between hitting the subscribe button and it actually going through the process and putting you on the list, because what it's supposed to do is redirect you to another page. And I'm like, all right, so I need to fix that. So maybe do the basic, like gray out the button and see if that fixes anything. But not for today. For today, let's see, is this sucker done? Yes, it is. We'll work on this little Vue.js app I have. Actually, I think it's at a point where I could deploy it. Hey, Dylan, definitely will. Yeah. Let you know, go through some of the accessibility stuff. All right. Now we wait for Vue. So let's go look at this site. Yeah, this is about as good as it's going to get so far. So this is a profit first calculator that we're building for fans of our podcast, and it's pretty straightforward. You come in here, you type in a number, and when you change the number, it actually will divide that into various buckets. So if you're not familiar with Profit First is just a way to distribute business income and making sure that everything that you need to pay for in your business is paid for. We added this last time where you could create your own categories, and I see so many things we needed to fix, and we haven't fixed them yet. So percentages, this should actually be like real percentage. And what I'll probably do is have a display value and then the underneath the scenes value. So everything adds up to 100%, but I could add a new category in here and call it shoes. Now, why? Don't know why you'd have one called shoes, but if you say, well, I want 20% of my money to go to shoes, that means you need to take 20% away from something else. So let's reduce OPEX down to 35, and boom, everything works. And it didn't save my name. Dylan, it is open source, so let me Yep. So here, let me drop this into the chat so everyone should get this. At least my work in progress is up there. There we are. All right, so shoes and hit save. All right, so yeah, I did something wrong on the other page. Let's go and shut that down. Let me open in VS Code. And what I think I'd like to do today is just finish some of the marketing stuff. I do think I'm going to put this on Azure static sites. So we'll walk through that process, which should be pretty straightforward. Actually, what I'll do is over on the other screen, I'll start building out that infrastructure with all the boring stuff that no one on stream needs to see. But I have this handy to-do list, which really should be a list of... Oh, it's not even this one. It's actually the to-do list is 2 levels up. All right, I can delete that package, JSON. All right. So ensure categories add up correctly. That works. Add is what is profit first. I'll have to do that. Add a link to the book. Tip button adjust for mobile. That was another thing I didn't play around with too much. And I already closed the app. No, we didn't. So if you watch, go on mobile. Let's see. Let's look at mobile. Yeah. So if it's on mobile, I want to reformat some of these. The header needs to get formatted, all that good stuff. But it's not a... Oh, wait. I'm not even on mobile. Let me select the phone. Yeah, so the same thing. I just need to do some adjustments. And Beautify, which I'm using for the front end, just will do all that for you. So, good times. Let's go ahead and pop that back. So I'm going to add some issues. So issue number 1, category editor should use full percentages on front end, but decimals on the back end. If I can spell decimals right. Then all right. Why? Oh, it's because I'm not running the app. npm run serve. Yep, I'm in the wrong folder. PF Calc. I should fix all that, but nah, I'm too lazy. All right, so I have this old PF Calc, which is going to go away. So I think if you go to pfcalc.com right now, it's the old version of this app. Might not even load. Yeah, it was just my proof of concept throwing something up. But PF Calc, I'll say delete. We're going to convert this into an Azure static site, because why not? We have this new tool, we might as well use it. And let's see, while I'm here, I'm also going to, I won't say add, so I'll let y'all walk through this process with me. Static site, static web app. That's what I should have called it. So we'll call it PF Calc production. And I'll do East US 2. Sign with GitHub. It's under SwiftKick. Where's SwiftKick? Oh, I didn't give it SwiftKick rights. Crap. I didn't give it the proper rights. So how do I go change the... How do you change your rights? Your connections. Let's see, there should be a setting for that. All right. Do you just do it in GitHub maybe? Settings. Applications? No. Authorized. GitHub apps. OAuth apps. All right, I found it. So I found where I can go into the... I can go into GitHub and I can tell GitHub, give additional access to different views. But the problem is now I need to restart this create process. Let's see if this works now. All right, so sign in with GitHub. SwiftKick, there we go. PF Calc, so it's profit first calculator, and we'll choose master branch, because what this is going to do now is it's going to install itself into the repository. So what's really cool is any updates to master will automatically deploy to production. But if I have any branches and do commits to those don't automatically deploy unless I do a PR, a pull request. A pull request will automatically create a new version of the web app for testing reasons, but it's a completely separate URL, which I think is awesome. So we'll set this up. The application is not in the root of the folder. It's actually going to be in source PF Calc. So source PF Calc. I don't have an API, and the artifact location is going to be distribution. That should all work. Should. I say that a lot. stuff should work, right? But maybe it won't. It was kind of a pain in the butt to set up in Azure as well. They made it easier. So if you create a blob storage account, you could say, all right, well, this blob is for a website for, I forgot what they call it, like custom website or something. And it would automatically set all the permissions accordingly. And then I have a GitHub action that would deploy to it. And so that was a pretty seamless process. So, all right. Come on, Azure. Yeah, and this part didn't take too long last time. So we go to GitHub, Swift, yeah. And what should be happening now is you can see there's a new commit because Azure Static Apps added its YAML files. And what it's probably doing right now is it's running the Azure action. The GitHub action. I get Azure and GitHub. I mix the names up so easily. I'm not sure why. But let's go watch this. We want to watch this in place because I actually don't know if it's going to work. I'm pretty sure I told it all the right information. It's just a Vue.js app. But we're kind of assuming it's going to work, right? So how hard could it be to deploy a new app? So a whole bunch of Docker stuff happening right now. And that might be hard to see. Oh, not a timer. No, turn off timer. Let's zoom in down here. My face is blocking a lot of stuff. It's running npm install. Running npm install again. I'm not sure why. Multiple npm installs. Npm install all the things. And you figure since Microsoft owns npm now, that they could get npm a little closer to the GitHub data center. Oh, of course, it's installing Cypress. All right, this might take a minute. I guess technically it could run the test. If I had tests, it could run the test as part of my build process. And if the tests fail, it rejects the build. That would be really nice in a PR, right? Is you add a task to it to run all the tests. And if that fails, we can't do anything, right? All right, now it's building, so it ran npm run build automatically. Uh-oh, we had an error. What's my error? Oh, so I had actual legitimate build issues. It's because I have consoles. So now we get to fix it in real time, right? We'll come in here. Let's save that off. Let's just do a quick search for... Oh, and I had bumped my font down. Let me bump it back up. I think 21 is the good font. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks all right. All right, so yeah, I had some console logs, which you're not supposed to have. I wonder if it'll yell at me for having... I don't think I need that at the moment, so we'll comment it out. And we'll say, let's just do a quick test. Let's make sure it builds. Make sure it builds locally before we go through the entire online build process. So that's done. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. All right, so this is good. Git status. Let's just go ahead and add everything. All right, and then we'll commit. We'll call this. Yeah, so I should... Oh, no, don't do a push. Do a pull. So we have to pull down our YAML file. But while we do the push, we can actually go look at that YAML file real fast. Which is right here. Because it's interesting to look at. There's two jobs. There's the build and deploy job. There's the close and pull request job. And... so this one's interesting. This one will run on any commit on any branch. And I'm sorry, any commit on master or any commit on inside of a pull request. So if I were to make some updates, do a PR, that would get its own build process. And then there's another job that runs only when a pull request is closed, because it cleans itself up. And I'll probably, and once I get this deployed, I'll branch to make the rest of my updates today, and we can see this whole part in action. All right, so if we go back up here, let's go into actions, go back into the merge. We can watch the process. Can in a moment. Come on, come on. Well, it's build and deploying. Not sure what it's doing in there, but something. There we go. All right, it's installing Cypress again. It's nice that this stuff just happens behind the scenes, and you don't really have to care that if it happens. Matter of fact. It's installing two versions of Cypress. Why is it? Oh. Okay. All right. So now it's doing a production build. And you go do some the code generator de-optimized the styling for Beautify as it exceeded 500 kilobytes. Huh. I don't think it did that locally. Or maybe it did. Yeah. I have some Webpack optimization I need to do, but nothing I'm worried about at the moment. All right, so my app is built. Finished uploading. Now it's deploying. So this is the process of deploying the actual application out to Azure Static Apps. Let's see. All right, visit your site at my site should be good to go. If I come back over to Azure and zoom in, you'll see I now get this randomly generated URL. They don't let you select the name of your static apps. I wonder if that's just a feature they're going to add later. But if we go there, it works. Yay. Look, I also have it set up as a PWA and I can install it. Yay. But we're not going to do that right now. What we will do is I want to show you this part. Actually, I can go and set up the custom domain. Let me head over to, I'm not sure where I'm actually hosting DNS for this. I think it's in Cloudflare, but I need to double check. Dun, 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 dun. No. It's probably in Cloudflare, but it's probably in I have like 10 accounts in Cloudflare. PF Calc. Yep. Okay, so PF Calc is fun. So I need to delete the current records. Delete. And I want to add a custom domain. First, configure a CNAME. So it wants me to add a CNAME. Root to Gentle Pond. And in Cloudflare, you don't want to proxy this stuff. Can you tie a static app to a domain? Yes, you can. Sorry, I didn't see that right away, Chad. So that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm setting up everything over here on Cloudflare. So I'm not going to proxy through it yet. That gets saved, but then I can come over here and I can say pfcalc.com. Actually, they've changed it. They've changed this domain. So you're supposed to also be able to do a text record to the same thing. I wonder if that still works. So if I do text to... not text record. Yeah, text record, right? So to @ and drop in Gentle Pond and hit save. I don't remember if that's the process. Couldn't verify ownership. PF. And I probably also gotta wait for DNS to do its thing. Yeah. So on just regular web apps, you can set... Alright, maybe I don't worry about this today. Yeah, check your CNAME record. I did check my CNAME record. CNAME. Alright, well... Click. Alright, we're not going to worry about that today. But here's what we can do. Let me show you this real fast. I actually just got the notice from my wife that she wants to leave in 15 minutes. So that means I have 10 minutes to wrap up the stream. Let me create a new branch. We'll just call this work in progress V1. Okay. We'll push that up to GitHub. So empty branch with nothing in it. I'll come over here and we'll just change something. We'll say profit first is awesome. That's the thing we'll change. So we'll get add it. We'll commit it. And we'll push it. We'll go back over to GitHub. GitHub sees my new branch. We'll just call this update test. And so I have a PR that's not committed to master. It's going to sit here for a moment. And then Azure kicks in. Creates two tasks. The first task is basically build and deploy. And it's not going to build and deploy against my actual production app. And then we just gotta wait a moment because it does something really cool when it's all done. This is the only downside of this process is you have to sit here and wait and wait and wait. All right. So how's everyone doing today? I've had a little bit of traffic in the chat, but we have a good number of people out there. If you're out there, say hi. Just let me know what's going on. There's been a lot of streams today. Tuesday, it's kind of amazing. As I've been trying to do more streaming myself, I see more and more people online streaming, and I try to catch as many streams as I can, and at least jump in and say hi, and then usually jump out. But yeah, today was a busy day. A lot of streamers. So if you hit details, it takes you over to your actual GitHub action. And it's still, Cypress. I'm not sure why it does two versions of Cypress. That's kind of weird. Because I don't think I have two versions of Cypress in my package.json. Yeah, Cypress 2. I don't know. That's weird. Unless there's something in here that depends on Cypress that depends on an older version of Cypress. But I need to do more work with Cypress. My testing game is horrible. I've been saying that forever. I need to spend more time with testing and trying to build that muscle. And that's what I think you do with test-driven development. Is just you got to exercise that muscle. As painful as it is to write tests before writing code, at least it is to me. Anyone out there who tests everything, you probably disagree with me. And that is fine. I just don't have the muscle flexed enough where I just instinctively want to write tests first. Usually I want to write code first. All right, so that's all good. All right, everything's built. Holy cow, yeah. I gotta do some optimization on chunked vendors. That is too big. So it says here no API directory was specified. If I was adding Azure functions, I could deploy my Azure functions at the same time as my static app, which is really cool. All right, so now it's doing the deployment, and there's a new site to visit. if we go back to our conversation, you'll see it. GitHub bot added a message and says, hey, here's a test site for you to go to. That is a different test site than my production site. So it's named similar. It's Gentle Pond and some hash. But if I go there, here's my updated text. Profit first is awesome. So yay, everything's working. Chad, cannot get into a TDD mindset. Try do your best to test early and often. I'm the same way. I've had plenty of projects where I have jumped in and built a pretty solid test suite. But then I hit these scenarios where I need to test. And I'm like, I'm not sure the best way to test this. And because I work as an independent, a lot of times I'll hit these walls and go, I really don't have anyone to ask. I feel too stupid to just ask people for help and say, hey, people who test a lot, what should I do here? And I need to get over that. That is just a character flaw with me, because I don't want. It's the imposter syndrome. I don't want someone to come back and say, Kevin, you're so dumb. Why do you not know how to do this? And I know that's not what's going to happen, but that's how I feel. But yeah. Well, all right. So we have everything deployed, and I got absolutely nothing done on this project except got it pushed out to static sites, which I guess that's an achievement. In any case, I want to do a write-up on deploying to static apps, and I'm probably going to say, how do you deploy like Vue.js apps to static apps? There's some SEO juice in here somewhere. I just got to find it, and so I'm going to probably work on that this evening or tomorrow. Just do a write-up because I think this is going to be a really cool tool that a lot of people are going to take advantage of. And so, well, so our friends over on Twitch. We're probably going to... Ooh, Lana's live. I just noticed the live coders went live. So lucky number 7 is interviewing Full Stack. So Full Stack live. Let's send some people over their way, the folks on Twitch. Everyone else, well, sorry, you, I guess, don't get to see that. But go to Twitch TV if you want to see all the goodness there. I'm going to type in the live coders. And all right.